I had always, from the very beginning, when I first saw Chateau's stuff, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to follow this. I'm going to have to save it because it's going to go away someday. And sure enough, they wiped it from the internet. And now I have hard copies. So what is the Maxim number 7? The sweeter and more innocent a girl seems, the greater the likelihood she has been in a gangbang. The corollary is always assume she is a whore. It helps kick the legs out from under the pedestal you will be tempted to put her on. And it is more often than not true. Chateau Heartiste. So the real deal is girls all have a history. And the more innocent she appears, the more likely she has a deeper and longer history. And you should assume this. Again, assume she is a slut. You will seldom be disappointed. That does two things. One, it doesn't set you, because, guys' default is to put girls to think that what the girl's telling you is the truth. She's been celibate for 2 years and she's only been with 3 men in her lifetime. These are the two biggest deceptions that a girl will use, and they all tend to, it's the same as a cop being told, how many drinks have you had tonight, sir? Oh, I've had 2. And it doesn't matter. It could be 20, it could be 200, but it's very rarely, if ever, has it been 2. That's the pat answer. And you get the same thing with girls. How many guys have you been with? 3. I've been with my high school boyfriend, my college boyfriend, and my first husband, or the first husband can be substituted by a long-term relationship. And that's what you'll generally see is 3. That's the real deal. And I think somebody has a caveat of like after 25 or after 27, girls default to 7 men. They try to, make it a little bit more palpable, the lie that they're going to tell you. But it doesn't matter. What you have to know is that that's the answer they're going to give you. But you should assume she's been run through. And then if you find out she wasn't, that is a welcome surprise. And if you find out she was run through, you're not disappointed. You know already, because that's your default. You assume she's a slut. And that way you're not caught off guard. You can approach this in a measured and appropriate and calibrated manner. Always assume she is a whore. It helps kick the legs out. This is the second benefit. It helps kick the legs out from under the pedestal that you'll be tempted to put her on. And guys, generally across the board, and no matter what you do, and even seasoned players, it happens all the time. You will have this one girl, which tells you you're already in trouble. There's this one girl. And then you think she's better than all the others. You put her up on a pedestal, and where is she? She's, like Rollo would say, now she has no choice but to look down on you. And that's not a good position for her or you. So therefore, I always tell guys, kick that pedestal out from under her, climb up there yourself. That way you're in the proper positioning. Girls want a man that she can be reaching for, a man that slightly is above her, and that she can chase. That's where girls are happiest, is when they're chasing a high value man. Again, generally they will not chase until you fucked them a few times. And this is where guys always get all kinds of confused, is before you start fucking her regularly 3-4 times, you're going to have to make almost everything happen. In a sense, you're going to have to make it happen. To girls, sex just happens. They can never initiate it or be responsible for it. But after that, you will notice the momentum tends to change. Girls start chasing you. And that's where you hear like girls chase, and you want girls chasing you. But generally, it's all the way up until sex happens that you have to be leading and you have to be making things happen. And after that, girls will tend to reach out to you more often, give you reasons to see them, give you more options, give you, they will start picking up the pace, and you can pull back and they can start chasing, which is where they are happiest, is when they're chasing a high value man. But none of this can happen if you assume she's innocent and an angel and you put her up on a pedestal, because she's going to sense that you are definitely a guy that doesn't just get it. And you have to remember, and I know this is another way of reinforcing this maxim, but she fucked her coach in high school. She was in a threesome on spring break. She fucked her best friend's dad. She knows all of these things in the back of her head. And then when you treat her extremely well and better than anything else, and like she's untouchable and could never make a mistake, she thinks you're a dumbass because she wonders what else could you possibly be wrong about. So when you treat these girls that have got all these mistakes and all these bad decisions behind them, and you treat her like she's infallible, she wonders what other bad decisions could you possibly be making. So they don't trust you. So you have to keep that in mind. But if you assume that she is a slut, you'll seldom be disappointed. There will always be something that will float up, and you can just go, well, yeah, well, of course you did. Why wouldn't you? This is what girls do. So let that help guide you. Everyone benefits. Every time you kind of see this maxim, it kind of throws guys off. It's very basic. It's only number 7 out of 200. But it gives you a foundation to work off of. That way you can work off of it, looking at her with eyes that you can actually, make good judgment of who's in front of you. So that's a real deal with maxim number 7. Let's see what else. Oh, if you guys have any questions, go to YouTube. You can put it in the comment box, and I will do my very best to address it during the live broadcast. And if not, we'll get into like one of the questions of the day.